Welcome to Forensics Detectors, and today we are showing you the installation and demoing on the data logging of our ozone analyzer, folks, our FD-UVO3, and it is one of our most sophisticated instruments we have, folks. Now, let's get started by going to the Forensics Detectors website, and Dr. Cos wants to communicate to you a few important things. Just type in ozone analyzer, folks, and you will come across the product listing that you've probably already seen. And this is the page where we'll be populating the manual and all the imperative links associated with the analyzer, folks. So if in 6 months' time or 2 years' time or 2 weeks' time, you're scratching your head thinking, where's all the information? It will be on this website. Now, let's move on to the software page. This analyzer has its own software page. Click here on software FD-UVO3, and you will find all the information step by step. So today we are working with the UV analyzer, and with you make sure you have your 5-pin connector with the converter and your Windows laptop, your PC, folks. You'll be able to do some live display, data logging, and then data manipulation for analyses, folks. So first and foremost, before we get going, make sure your RS485 to USB converter is plugged into one of your USB ports, and the other end is connected to the analyzer, the 5-pin connector. So mine's already set up here in front of me. So make sure it's all set up, and I've shown you how to do that in the demo and unboxing. So plug that all up. Now, on some PCs, like this is a Windows 10, what I'm using, it will recognize that little gadget. It'll recognize it, so it will install the driver automatically, not a problem. But you're going to say, Dr. Cos, but mine doesn't. That's fine. You have to go over here on the information page, and there's some installation instructions to install the VCP driver, folks, that's compatible with the gadget, okay? Very important to do that and follow those instructions. They're actually quite clear and step by step. They have some nice visuals on those PDFs. So make sure you select the correct instructional manual for your Windows operating system. If it's Windows XP, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 9, select the correct PDF, and it will walk you through step by step. But for today, folks, we are undertaking our software installation and software video demo. This video that you're watching, Dr. Cos will link it right over here, okay? And the instructions will always reside here. So if you're, again, scratching your head in the future, come back to this page and you will be able to execute this flawlessly. So we have our analyzer. It's operating. We've passed the warm-up stage. We've connected our converter. Our converter is functioning with the computer. The driver is installed. Now it's a matter of setting up all the software to have the two communicating. So first thing you will do is you need to download our executor called ModBus Pulse software, folks. It's made by a third party, and you have a 30-day free single-user license for 30 days, folks. You could see it downloading right over here. Okay. After that, it's $129, which I have paid for, of course, because I use this considerably. If you guys are using it quite a bit, I recommend you purchase the single license. Also download the MVP file. Let's click on, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes, I will click on that and click on accept the terms for the executable. Go next, install, and the program is installing. As you could see, very straightforward, nothing fancy, no backflips required over here, okay, folks? At the same time, when that's done, I don't need to read me, finish, you will download, as I mentioned, you will download the MVP file, okay? This file has been together so that you can read the registers quite straightforward, okay? So I'll show you how that works also. Now that has been loaded up and we are good to go. They're very small files, folks. We've made them quite small so you don't have to sit there and have a high-speed internet connection, not at all. So let's kill the browser. We're done with the browser. We're done with all the software. Next, folks, we have already installed the ModBus Pulse software, and you could see the icon come up right over here. And you just double-click on it, and it will appear. Okay, folks? Bang. Now, this is a software package that shows you descriptors, aliases, and registers, okay? Registers are just memory banks or a memory address where a certain data sits in a memory address. They're called registers. Now, what we need to do, folks, is establish connection between the computer and the analyzer, folks. The way you do that, we can follow the step-by-step instructionals that's in the manual, but this is the fast way. Dr. Kaz, how do we do it? This is how you do it. Just go to connect, register the key. I don't need that. We could just register later. It reminds you have 30 days of free evaluation. And all the settings by default are the same, except a few, folks. You have to change the baud rate, and you're going to select 115/200, and the parity has to be no parity, no parity. Otherwise, it will not work. These are the two changes you have to make on my computer. Now, you have to also select the correct serial setting. On my computer right now, it's COM3. That's where the converter is residing. It's on COM3, and I press OK. Next, folks, now it's actually establishing connection. It has established connection because there is no red error bar here. You see there's no red error signal, but it doesn't really make sense. What is this? What are these values? So what you have to do is you have to open the MP file, folks. The one that you just downloaded is the FD-UVO3 MBP file. Click on that, and that will sort of arrange the information in a much more digestible fashion, okay? So let's just move the window across. Let's maximize that. And as you could see, what we've done in this file is we have put the descriptors, the aliases, and you could see the memory registers filling up different locations, okay? These are different addresses. And some refer to various things, such as the range, it's 50, the instantaneous reading, which is 22 parts per billion, and you have other parameters, such as measuring time, if you want to change the measuring time. And here we have the coefficients for calibration. Do not touch those, folks. Please do not touch those. If you do touch them, the analyzer will get out of whack and out of calibration. I suggest only the professionals at Forensics Detectors touch those. So that's the landscape. That's how we do it, folks. Now, there is also in your manual a read-write definition, and this is fairly straightforward. The default is okay, so you don't have to touch or change any of that, okay? So that's how it operates, folks. That's basically it. I'll repeat it. Look, we have the model number, the version number, the range, the instantaneous. See that? That's the instantaneous reading of the analyzer. It's showing up on the screen, folks. And you have measuring time and some other parameters here. Dr. Kaz, how do I change the sampling time? Okay, folks, you could do this here. Now, if you want to make any changes, you first have to go to Setting Enable. You have to make that, double click. It comes up. You have to make that 1, okay? And then I like to click on that. So when I press Send, it closes the window. That makes it 1. That enables you to make the changes to the registers. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems. Next, I want to change the measuring time. Instead of 10 seconds, I want to make it 12 seconds. That's the sampling rate. So it's going to tell the analyzer 12-second sampling. So it's made continue to sample at 12 seconds. That's the difference, folks, okay? And that's basically it. Other than the calibration, I wouldn't recommend anyone touch anything else. The next big question, Dr. Kaz, how do we do data logging, Dr. Kaz? Okay, quite straightforward. If you look at the ModBus software, there is a function called log. You just click on log, click on that, and you have some items you can select from. And please feel free to play with this and select the correct items for your data logging. Data log rate, each read, yes. Delimiters, fixed width, comma, or tab. I'll stick with fixed width for now. And the file name. So I don't know what the file name is, but let's just go to browse. It'll populate it automatically. I'll change it to test file. And I will save that in my download section. And I'm going to save that, okay? Now, that is the file we'll be saving and appending the data to. And if I go to OK, bang, we are data logging. As we speak, whatever's coming in, it's being dumped into that file, folks. It's quite straightforward. And once you're done, you could just go to that file and read it. It's quite straightforward. So let's give that a few seconds. Then we could go to logging off, and we could tell it to stop logging off, and we could go to our directory. And what we'll do is we'll go to downloads. There's my test file. Double click on it. and bang, you could see that it's measuring and it's giving you the file, the data that it was measuring, folks. And as you could see in your instruction manual, you can see different columns represent different things. And over here, this is where the instantaneous reading of the ozone resides, folks. Let me double check that register number because Dr. Cos forgot it off the top of his head and he's not getting any younger, is he? So that was the instantaneous reading was number 4. Okay, so you could check your manual, your user manual, and it's clearly labeled. Number 4 is the register, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here is our data reading, folks. That is where the data is in parts per billion. So you could then export that into Excel and then do the data manipulation that you wish, folks. That's basically it. That was the setup. That was the installation and data logging of your FD-UVO3 ozone analyzer. Have a great day. See you soon.